Chapter 42 Civilized Growth. The civilized movement grows. An African American made civilized gain. Other minority groups and people who suffered from injustice began to work harder than ever for similar strides. Civilized for Hispanic Americans. The Hispanic population in the US had grown during the first part of the 20th century. The largest group of Hispanic immigrants was from Mexico, but the Spanish-speaking population of the US also included immigrants from Puerto Rico, Cuba, and elsewhere. Hispanic were relating to the heritage, people, culture, and language of Spain, Portugal, and Latin America. Many immigrants worked as migrant or seasonal farm workers, particularly in California. The United Farm Workers Union (UFW), founded in 1962 by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, used non-violent strategy to get rights for migrant workers. The best known example was the Great Boycott of 1965 to 1970. The UFW convinced consumers to stop buying California grape until the farm recognized the union. Students in Los Angeles led a strike in 1968 for education reform, resulting in more bilingual education programs in public schools. In 1970, the organization La Raza Unida was founded to find better housing and job opportunities for Mexican Americans and help them get elected to public office. Civilized for Native Americans. During the 1950s, the federal government still operated on the policy that it was best to assimilate Native Americans into mainstream culture. The Bureau of Indian Affairs worked to remove Native Americans from their reservations so they could give their land to the state. Native Americans were one of the most poverty-stricken populations in the country. The mid-20th century was the turning point for Native American rights. In 1944, the National Congress of American Indian (NCAI) was founded to advocate for national autonomy, preservation of language and culture, control of ancestral land, and other civil and legal rights. The Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968 ensured Native Americans of the rights shared by all American citizens, as well as tribal autonomy. Some Native Americans wanted great change. In 1968, they founded the American Indian Movement (AIM). In 1972, AIM physically seized the Bureau of Indian Affairs headquarters, and in 1973, 300 Native Americans staged a violent occupation the town of Wounded Knee, South Dakota. They were surrounded by U.S. Marshal and National Guard. Both sides fired on one another, and the standoff lasted 71 days. Native Americans convinced the government to discuss their demands and drew focus on the terrible condition in which so many of them lived. Don't shop here, United Farm Workers Strike. Chicano Flower. Equality now. Civilized for American women. Women were in a similar position to African American veterans after World War II. When the war ended, they were expected to return to their role in the home. Many realized they wanted more. They were unhappy only fulfilling traditional law as wives and mothers. This was expressed in Betty Friedan's 1963 book, The Feminist Mystique, one of the most significant books of the feminist movement. Feminism, the belief that men and women should have equal right and opportunity. In 1963, Equal Pay Act was a victory for equal right in employment, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 addressed some gender discrimination. In 1966, feminists founded the National Organization for Women (NOW) and campaigned for a complete ban on discrimination on the ground of sex or gender. Now the demand would have gone into effect if its 1972 campaign for a Equal Right Amendment (ERA) had been ratified by the state. The era date back to 1923 and the progressives. Women demand equality. Opponent led by Phyllis Scalpelli convinced people that an equal right amendment would disrupt the structure of American family. The amendment was passed by Congress but was never ratified by enough states for it to become a part of the Constitution. Feminism made some advances. The Higher Education Act of 1972, also called Title IX, made illegal to deny anyone the right to participate in federally funded educational program or activity on the basis of sex or gender, creating funding for girls and women's athletic programs in public schools and colleges. Civil rights for everyone. In 70s saw the establishment of a legal defense fund and cultural foundation for all kinds of the ethnic heritage in the U.S. population. Before, in the 1950s and 1960s, the first lesbian and gay rights organization was established. The Stonewall Inn riot of 1969 in New York City's Greenwich Village ignited the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT rights movement. In 1979, an estimated 75,000 people marched on Washington to demand equal civil rights for LGBT individuals. Disabled in Action was founded in 1970 to raise awareness about the issue faced by Americans with disabilities. It wasn't until 1990, with the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, that it became illegal to practice discrimination against people with disabilities. Equal right for war, wheelchair warrior, equal work, equal pay.